I'm Brad and I'm a VR game developer. I made Night of the Wendigo, Attack of the Jersey Drones, Data Rock, Quarter 5, and Monsters in My Closet, and I'm answering your questions about game development. In the last video, I talked about how I have a friend who asked me about my experiences working on solo projects versus working for a studio with a group of people. And I've done both, and right now, in my current situation, I'm doing both, so I feel qualified to talk about this. Now again, in the last video, I talked about working solo. In this video, I want to talk about how I feel about working for a studio. And again, like I said in the last video, I think it depends on your personality, which one you're gonna like more, or in which situation you're gonna thrive more. This is what I told her. Working for a studio, something that I like is that I can directly ask my teammates for feedback, for advice, for help, for training. If I see they're really good at something, I can be like, man, teach me how to do that. I wanna do that too. You're so good at that. And it's so easy to have a conversation and just like to learn from other people. When you're working solo, you're by yourself. You can ask people online. You might have other game developer friends who you can reach out to, but maybe not. So that's something that's good about working for a studio. Secondly, working for a studio, I like to think that I'm pretty business minded. So in a studio, I can observe from the inside how a successful game studio makes their creative and financial decisions. And I can apply that to, well, I guess if I'm only working for a studio, I'm not working for doing solo stuff at all, then maybe that's not such a, maybe I wouldn't care about that. But in my situation, I like seeing how a big studio, a smart, successful studio, does their creative and financial decisions because it helps me with my solo projects. Next, being surrounded by other people who are working really hard is really motivating, and it pushes me more, probably more than if I'm just working solo by myself. It's like if you're working out in a gym versus if you're working out at home. If you're surrounded by a bunch of people getting pumped, a bunch of people who are jacked, they're super muscular, it would make you want to work harder, right? So you can rise up and kind of be like them. Working solo, you don't really get that unless you're there's really not an equivalent for that. That's how I really feel about it. Next, this is maybe a negative. My job working for a studio is ultimately to receive someone else's direction and listen, and the final decisions are never really my own. To me, my personality, that's a negative. Lastly, with so many people working on a project, this is a positive. We can create a much more grand, impressive game than you'll ever be able to make by yourself. That's what I think. What do you think?